lives matter. But one, so do black lives. Why do two phrases that should work side by side seem to only divide two? That's all anyone's saying. Black lives matter too. 11. That's how many times I can't breathe. 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 Eric Garner said I can't breathe before he was killed by police. So I guess those 3 words only mean stop if you are white. 15. That's how old Cameron Sterling was when he lost his father. 15. That's how old Cameron Sterling was when he said peace, not guns. 15. That's how old Cameron Sterling was when he said we must protest the right way. 52. It's been 52 years since the Civil Rights Act passed and everyone supposedly became equal. Well, guess what? It's 2016 and films about equality are still part of the fantasy genre. 102. 102 unarmed black people were killed by police last year. 1. 1 is one too many. Build, break, and build, and break again. And the news reporter says Jesus is white. She says it with a smile on her face like it is the most obvious thing in the world, so sure of herself. Her privilege. Her ability to change history, rewrite bodies to make them look like her. She says it the same way politicians say racism no longer exists. The same way police officers call dead black boys thugs. The same way white gentrifiers call Brooklyn home. She says it with an American accent. Her voice doing that American thing, crawling out of her throat, reaching to clasp onto something that does not belong to her. And I laugh to myself. What makes a black man a black man? Is it the way she was allowed to go on national television and autocorrect the Bible and God himself tell him who his son really was? Is it the way they cannot outrun a bullet? Please try to be clear, dear James. Through the storm which rages about your youthful head today, about the reality which lies behind the words acceptance and integration, there is no reason for you to be like white people. And there's no basis whatever for their assumption that they must accept you. The really terrible thing, old buddy, is that you must accept them. And I mean that very seriously. You must accept them and accept them with love. They are in effect still trapped in a history which they do not understand. And until they understand it, they cannot be released from it. I tell you this because I love you. And please don't you ever forget that. How can she say Jesus was a white man when he died the blackest way possible? With his hands up. With his mother watching, crying at his feet. Her tears nothing more than gossip to the news reporters or prophets to document. With his body left a sour in the sun, human stripped from his black. Remember that. Remember how the whole world was saved by a black man? By a man so loved by God, he called them kin. Called him black. Now, ain't that suspicious? Ain't that newsworthy? Ain't that worth something being killed over? Break and build. You think you black, girl? The only thing you know about a black woman's body is that you were not blessed with one. My skin will not fashion you a welcome match. My skin will not make space for your room in my mouth. You think you black, girl? You're so lucky. You take off your mask and get a newspaper spread. Get a featured spot on a talk show. Get an interview. Most black women don't make the news until they're dead, but here you go. Lusting after something your blood ain't spilled for. Break and build again. My grandfather, on the other hand, was tolerant and countered my experience with my grandmother as much as he could. But when they both eventually passed and my mother inherited their Kansas home, the house whose many white rooms and fixtures have been off limits during my childhood, it was with pride, rather than shame, that my father, siblings, and I sank our black feet into the plush white carpets beyond the front room and reclined on the one-span sofa to watch Roots together for the first time. It will never be over. This tradition of break and build and break again. It will never be again.